Welcome back. My name is Jeff, and this is Word for Yours. So I've had Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency by Douglas Adams on my TBR for a very long time. I just decided to read it because I got tired of looking at it at my TBR. I had to do it. I loved Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Loved Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's now one of my favorite books. So a friend of mine told me about, I'm a fan of detective novels. A friend of mine recommended Dirk Gently's a friend of mine recommended Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective. A friend of mine recommended Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency because I love detective books so much. I love Douglas Adams from Hitchhiker's Guide. I love the humor. She said, you got to read this book. And I says, so is Douglas Adams is a detective? She says, yeah, it's an actual detective book. I says, great. Put it on my TBR. Finally got to it. It's not. It's not a detective book. Not at all. A detective book starts out like if it's a murder mystery, it usually starts out with a murder scene. Detective comes onto the scene, sees the murder, sees clues. So the goal in the book becomes solve the murder. Talk to people, find clues, put everything together, solve the murder. You know, it's very linear. Boom, 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 boom. This is my goal. This is what I'm doing. This is my conclusion. So say in the case of a private detective book, usually the beautiful lady comes into the private detective's office. Mr. Private Detective or Miss Private Detective, you got to help me, yada, yada, yada. Here's my problem, yada, yada, yada. Detective says, you got it. Finds clues, talks to people, puts everything together, comes to a conclusion. Boom, 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 boom. Goal of the story, finds clues, conclusion. But Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency wasn't like that at all. So I don't know what my friend was smoking when she recommended this book. Maybe she didn't understand me when I asked her if it was a detective novel. It starts out, it takes place, it deals with multiple viewpoints. It's in third person. I guess that doesn't really matter, but it goes from here to there to there to there, just bounces all around with no direction. The humor felt like it was trying to be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but it felt afraid to be Hitchhiker's Guide. It felt like it wanted to have that humor, but every time it hinted at it, it kind of held back. So even that wasn't there. You don't actually meet Dirk Gently until like chapter 5 or 6 or so. And it just kind of wanders pointlessly, aimlessly, here and there. It did have a little of the silliness. Like there's this, they called it an electric monk. He explains it such an electric dishwasher washes dishes, so you don't need to. A video recorder records the videos on the TV, so you don't need to. An electric monk believes things, so you don't need to believe them. And it'll believe the strangest things, like the sky is purple and everything in the countryside is pink. When you meet the monk, he's currently believing that everything around him, including himself and the horse he was on, was pink. So he couldn't move because he couldn't see where he was going because everything was pink. That sounded very funny. And I was really hoping that's where the book was going, but it pulled back. It talked about this vase. Every chapter lasted way longer than it should have. I had to DNF the book. I couldn't finish it. I got about halfway through. I talked to my friends on Twitter. They love the book. They reminded me that it's not actually a detective book. My expectations were that it was, so I was expecting the story to congeal and have a direction, which it never did. It was explained to me that this book was very old. My British friend said it was very British, and that it was kind of everywhere, kind of very nonsensical, and at the end, everything would come together and make sense. I didn't want to wait that long, so I DNF'd it. So you may like it. On Goodreads, Goodreads gave it a 3.97 out of 5 stars. You may like it, you may not. If you read it and you have a different opinion, please leave me a comment down below. Until next time, may your library be well-stocked and fully funded. I'll see you later.
The Christmas tree's on fire, Santa's holding the lighter. My parents are both liars, I got gifts but one survived.